Well, good morning, everybody. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It's Friday. Apparently, there's a game on Sunday. The Packers aren't in it. I'm pretty sure many Packers fans are uninterested in the showdown between the Bucks and the Chiefs. But I will say the official Cheesehead TV stance is go Chiefs. Hope everyone's good. Good to see everybody in the comment section. Brandy's here, of course, already talking about needing restructured contracts. Ann is here. Hello, Ann. Happy Friday. Joey the Jaguar. What's up, Joey? I'm not rooting for the Chiefs to win. I'm just rooting for the Buccaneers to lose. That makes perfect sense, man. I'm right there with you. George Lucas is here. Good morning, George. I was watching an interview with you and Christopher Nolan on YouTube yesterday. Good stuff. Update: there is no game. Everyone must watch Ted Lasso. It's a good show. I'm all in. Like the video, please. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, like the video, please. See, Robin says please. It's a much more cultured and mannered person than myself. I just say like the video. The brat party is a whole different variance on the traditional brat. Very, very good. Oh, the brat patty. I thought you said party, Matt. It's really often running there. Who cares? It's a stupid game anyway. Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. Jason, thank you for the super sticker. Very nice. Thank you. Who are your early breakout candidates for 2021? Still going to be riding the Sternberger train hard this summer? You damn right, Spencer. Love me some Jay Sternberger. Hey, man, he had a couple things pop up this year, derailed his development. That ain't on him. But, yeah, he's got to come back, hit training hard, and get ready for the off season and prove that he belongs. No doubt about it. Any chance Snacks comes back cheap? Maybe a outside chance. I'd be surprised, but you never know. Oh no. Oh boy, Tommy in here with some untoward suggestions about why Jared Goff was traded. Extra cheese of DC is announced. Yep, bet on it. Gonna happen. Does Cheesehead TV have a Mel Kiper? Who the hell is Mel Kiper? One of the all-time great quotes around the NFL. No, not really. We have a lot of people that work on the draft guide, a lot of people that will be writing about draft content, etc. But yeah, we don't have a draft guru, as it will. I think that would be a tad much. But who knows? Maybe if there's a Packers fan out there that has just got his ducks in a row, his or her ducks in a row, and is jumping at the bit to be a draft guru type, let us know. Contact at Cheesehead TV. What else we got here? David, thanks for the super chat. 12. I know you're in the chat. Call Nags. Thank you, David. It ain't so tough. Dial the number, baby. And, if Aaron, you are listening, I know your initial reaction is, I don't have your number. You know, like 20 people who have my number. So get it. Call me. I feel like we're playing this weekend. Oh, Will. It's tough, man. According to your opinion, who's the GOAT in the QB category? Bart Starr. Lock it up. Love my hometown guy, Tunyon. Sandy, great year for Bobby, for Big Bob. He is a restricted free agent. Got to see what the Packers do as far as what kind of tender they put on him. I'll be absolutely shocked if anything happens with him and possibly a team coming in trying to take him away, etc. I doubt that happens. Maybe they straight up give him an extension. Who knows? Any number of things are in play this offseason due to the weird nature of the salary cap, the gymnastics they're going to have to go through just to make the pieces fit. Anything's possible. Me, draft guru. Right. Will Big Dog retire? You got to think it's a possibility, right? I know he's talked about continuing to play. Rodgers has talked about continuing to play with him. I don't think there's anything set in stone. This is the time traditionally guys get away for a little bit and kind of reassess and see what they want to do, unless they're Phillip Rivers and then they announce their retirement the same day as important other events are going on. But no, I think there's a good chance he's back for at least one more year. Walter, thanks for the super chat. More likely to be back, EQ or Lazard? I don't think either one of them is going anywhere. I'd be surprised if they're both not back. Sup, Nagler? Sup? I want a modern defense. I want the Packers to run a defensive scheme that runs 3-4-4-3 and a 3-5-3 at will. A lot of moving parts, but the Packers need to dictate the tone. I'm with you on the last part, Brandy. The thing about a team that runs a scheme that runs 3-4-4-3, 3-5-3 at will, that's a lot of moving parts. One of the things I think they need to do is streamline things a bit. You know, don't look much further than that game they lost against the Bucks, where they got a 12-man on the field penalty because they got guys running on and off. They have to burn timeouts because they got guys going running in and out because they have all these specializations and these guys who are playing in this package but not that package. And we got to get this guy on the field. That guy's going to get off. It's like Dom Capers all over again. You know, I understand that there is an element to sub packages in modern NFL defenses, and that is here to stay. There's no question about it. But they do way too much specialization in my eyes. You know, get some guys that are really good and keep them on the field. This is what happened in 2014. At the beginning of the year, they were moving guys in and out, and they were kind of all over the map. And once they solidified, put Clay in the middle, they stopped kind of rotating guys at the nickel, and they just let Hyde play. That's when that defense took off because they were cohesive as a unit. I just think, yes, it's great that you can use these guys, use their skill sets in lots of different ways, but you know, you're running the risk of having a Will Redmond at deep safety at the end of the first half when that happens. That's all I'm saying. Josh Jackson or Kadar? Probably Kadar. I think both will get an opportunity to show what they can do in camp, but I think Holman's probably a better man up guy. You know something is wrong when Favre is trending on Twitter. Yeah, I got an idea. Let's stop asking Brett Favre questions. Solved. I wish one of the safeties wore the communication helmet, let the front just get after the ball. I mean, yes and no. There are a lot of really successful defenses that have the inside backer or the middle backer wearing the communication helmet. I don't think that's so much the problem, but I hear you. Definitely want them flowing to the ball and not really thinking so much. On Culture, thanks for the super chat. That last Packers game bummed me out so much. I don't know if I'm watching this year's Super Bowl, and that would be a first for me since I was a kid. I totally feel it, man. I get why people might not watch the Super Bowl. I'll be watching. It's the last meaningful football game for months. I gotta watch. It's like, you know, I don't know, a disease, I guess. But I totally understand if a Packers fan looks at that game and says, no thanks. Major upgrade needed at D end positions. David, I do think the defensive line is not getting enough attention and or I don't know what other word you put heat stuff, whatever, this offseason as far as a need for an upgrade. I mean, we hear a lot about corner, which obviously I think they will probably draft a corner. We hear a lot about a wide receiver. God knows, you get the first overall scoring offense, better add a wide receiver. I get all that, but defensive line is a legit need. The need to upgrade from guys like Lowry and Lancaster, etc. And that's not to diminish their contributions and the fact that they played better down the stretch. Better down the stretch does not mean good. Better down the stretch does not mean they have arrived. And you are always getting better or getting worse. Now, some of that's going to be dictated to by whoever they hire a defensive coordinator and whatever scheme they try to implement. Clearly, whatever you're going to be asking those guys to do is going to change regarding, depending on what scheme you're running. But they've got to get better up front. They've got to be able to control the line of scrimmage. And right now they can't. And Kenny needs some fucking help. Now, maybe that means retaining Snacks. Maybe he sticks around for another year. I don't know. But man, they need help up front. Got to watch Shady Brady lose. I like it. Amar, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Tom Brady was terrible in the NFC Championship game, but his team wins, and everyone seems to forget how bad he was. Yeah, it ain't no joke, man. He was pretty bad. It was so funny. There was a graphic. I think it was PFF. Somebody put up a graphic of Mahomes and Brady have made it an art of avoiding sacks. It's like, well, yeah, if you're just chucking up balls for Jesus and getting intercepted, you don't get sacked. Like, Lord, no context to anything. Andrew, thanks for the super chat. We need a D with the feel of the 96 one. We have the class act of 92, but still put the fear of God in opposing QBs. We have the personnel to be that as well. Go Pack Go, Pappy Fund. What's up, Andrew? I agree. I think they do need a piece or two yet, but they're close. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of scheme they run. Jason, thank you for the super sticker. Very nice of you. I'd like to see the 80s retros uniforms for a game in 2021. Oh, that would be dope. I would love that. Get a little Lynn Dickey, James Lofton style out there. All in. Like the thought of retaining Snacks. I do too. We'll see if he wants to play. If he wants to stick around, we'll see. Travis Smith, what's up, Travis? How you doing, man? Hope you're well. Happy belated birthday. Big Al, Nags, any players we're going to re-sign like Lazard or Tunyon or other veterans like Snacks Harrison or Tremont Williams? I doubt Tremont is back. Maybe Snacks. And I'll be surprised if Tunyon or Lazard go anywhere. I know people are so worried that they're going to lose guys because of the cap crunch, but I don't think those guys are going anywhere. You can rest easy on that. How involved with the defense was LaFleur? Only Matt LaFleur knows. No, he told us many times that yes, he was in meetings and was part of building game plans, etc. But for the most part, everything we've been told is that was very much, Mike Pettine's fiefdom. That's where he let Mike operate pretty much on his own. And yes, as he said at his closing press conference, all the calls he hears them, can override them if he wants. Blah blah blah. I don't know what happened in that last call at the end of the half. We know the reporting from Spoon has suggested that Matt was calling for 2-man and Pettine heard man and ran some single high nonsense. He's the head coach. It does fall on him. It is his responsibility. But as far as how day in, day out, nuts and bolts involved he was with the defense overall throughout the season, only he could tell you. Dwoxon, thanks for the super chat. Favorite pre-90s punk rock bands? That's a hyper-specific question there. Gang of Four? I like me some Gang of Four. I don't know if they're really considered punk, but I like them. Do you see Pettine going to the Bears? Bears talking to him about senior defensive role. It's a possibility. Man's got to get paid. Got to keep eating. Got to keep providing. But yeah, I think it's a good possibility. That's where he ends up. Will we ever know how much Aaron Rodgers switched from run to pass? No. It's impossible. I mean, you couldn't, even if you went back and tried to look at the TV copy and listen to the calls, you don't know which ones are dummy calls, which ones are real, which ones are runs that are turned into passes, vice versa, which you got to look at the RPOs, etc. It's an impossible task. That's why I always say, and people always want to put the play calling on LaFleur. It's a marriage, man. The same thing at the end of McCarthy's tenure when everyone was bitching about McCarthy's play calling. It's like, well, this particular quarterback has more leeway at the line than anybody in the league. So you got to throw Aaron in there. If you don't like the play calling, quote unquote, which is a blanket, ridiculous statement anyway, but if you don't like the play calling, you've got to put it on LaFleur and Rodgers. Always. When do you think we'll hear who our new DC is? I would have thought by today, but now that we've got Demovsky's report, I think earlier yesterday morning, that second interviews are happening, which is always interesting because it's clear that, I guess, nobody blew his socks off, quote unquote. I think somebody asked about that yesterday. But yeah, so second interviews are happening. I would tend to think it could go through the weekend. Or who knows? Maybe we get a report/announcement later today. It's a possibility. Chris, thanks for the super chat. It sure seems like general managers would be inclined to move slow this offseason, given the cap and possibility of high-quality talent being available. Yes, Chris, I don't expect a lot to happen, at least significant movement, until, obviously they need to announce what the salary cap is going to be, and we're probably not going to hear that until right up before the league year begins in mid-March. And two, I think because of that, there will be teams, and Packers will undoubtedly be one of them, that have lots of different models about how they might attack the offseason when it comes to who might be available, who they suspect will be a cap casualty, etc. But then they've got to, utilize everything within their power to make sure they retain the guys they want to keep. and then kind of sift through the detritus, so to speak, and find some bargains, um, and or sign, maybe high price free agents. Although I doubt that happens with the Packers. But yeah, I do think it is going to be a case of hurry up and wait a lot when it comes to the offseason, much more so than usual. Now we say that, and watch, there'll be some like huge signing today. Charlene, thanks for the super chat. I hope it's going well in the Philippines. Just a super chat before Super Bowl Sunday. One I thought the Packers would be playing in. Sucks, but I still say go Pack go. Charlene, you are the absolute best. Thank you for your continued support. I hope you and the family are well. I hope the puppy's doing well. Miss you guys on watch parties. Chris, I already got that one. Good. Did Barnes outplay Patrick Queen? That's a good question. I mean, it's really different circumstances, very different asks, so to speak. I'll say this: I don't think the Packers missed out on anything in 2020 by having Barnes instead of Queen. Now, maybe Queen ends up being a much better player. I think there's a possibility. I think the athletic testing would suggest that his ceiling is higher, but Barnes filled in fine, filled in well. And, as far as like, was he better than Queen? Ultimately, who cares? He's not a Packer. He's never going to be a Packer, unless maybe down the road in his late years when he becomes a free agent, maybe they sign him to a cheap one-year deal or something. But he's not a Packer. Barnes is, so I'm all on Barnes. Who got the better deal, Detroit or the Rams? Do you think this is a cause for a mass exodus of players on either team? Well, not in LA. I mean, they're trying to hold on into that Super Bowl window. They think they've finally got that one piece. Now, maybe they lose a guy or two because of the cap crunch, but they're all in. They're trying to win a Super Bowl right now. With Detroit, yeah, I think you're going to see it's going to be maybe not a complete overhaul, but they are starting all over in Detroit. So I would suspect, yes, you'll see maybe not a mass exodus, but you'll see a lot of movement. No doubt about it. The headline tomorrow: Packers trade for Patrick Queen. Exactly. Mm. Do you think Matt LaFleur didn't like any of the interviewees? No idea, Zachary. I'd only be guessing. I had someone in the comments the other day over at the website at cheeseheadtv.com who took me to task because I didn't opine enough on the potential defensive coordinators and I didn't give my favorites. Okay, guys, if you want like top 5 regurgitated bullshit that people read somewhere on the internet in spoken form, go to ESPN, go to Bleacher Report, do whatever you got to do. You're not going to find it here. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. All right. And in my honesty, I am telling you, each one of these guys knows football. Each one of them will bring something different. When we find out who it is, then we can take a deep dive into what he does, how he likes to call games, where he's been, who he's coached with, etc. But up until then, none of them are Packers, and I don't give a shit. If you really gotta know, just Google their names. That's what everyone else is doing. Even the people you revere, who are these quote unquote great analysts, they don't know. They weren't in the meetings. They don't know how the games were called. They don't know the guys' relationships around the league. Most of the people that know that information aren't in the media. So, I get it. I understand everybody wants like all the information right away. We got to know everything about every guy. Just be patient, man. Relax. Because anything you're going to learn right now about these potential candidates doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. And that's the truth. Dawson, thanks for the super chat. Odds of extending both 17 and 23 this offseason? Minimal. I would think definitely Devontae gets an extension. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get proactive with Jair, but that 5th-year option does give them some leverage, although I think most likely they try to and get out ahead of that and not have to utilize it. But yeah, there's a possibility. I'd be a bit surprised, though. Andy, thanks for the super chat. Which ex-Green Bay player from any era transported in their prime, man, we are in the offseason, would have most improved the team this season and pushed us over the edge into the Super Bowl? Reggie White. Done. That's pretty easy. I still think there is someone on a Super Bowl team staff they want to interview. That's a very good possibility. I know there were links to a couple of the guys on Todd Bowles' staff when Mike Pettin first got fired. So maybe they do wait until after the Super Bowl to interview. I think the inside backers coach and there's one other guy that they might have an interest in. So we'll see. Do you think the Packers can do what the Titans did with Henry? Colby, I assume you're talking about AJ Dillon and utilizing him as their workhorse. Yeah, I mean, they're still going to need a rotation. We've heard Matt talk about it a lot, the need for multiple backs, especially today's NFL, man. These guys are so fast, so strong. The injury rate is so high. You need multiple guys that can do it. But I do think AJ is up to the task, and I am very excited to watch him in year 2 as a featured back in that offense. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And let me just say this. We saw glimpses of his receiving ability this season. We saw a lot of it in camp last summer. He could be a legit weapon down the field. Um, I don't think he has the most natural hands, but he's, obviously working on it. I think he could be a real weapon in the passing game. So that's something where I don't think they utilize Henry that much in that regard down in Tennessee, but I think the Packers could do that with AJ Dillon. That'd be a lot of fun. Easy answer, George Kuntz. I like it. Kuntz. Excuse me. Is it unusual to interview so many candidates? Not necessarily, Danny. I think it varies from coach to coach and situation to situation. I've heard of guys we've seen play out throughout the years, a coach who only interviews like 3 or 4 dudes. And we've also seen guys who cast a wide net like Matt's doing right now. I don't think it's outside any kind of norm or anything though. Excited for AJ Dillon. Yeah, me too. Nice. Do you think that Zadarius Smith is already top 5 Packers free agent signing of all time, or is it recency bias? Maybe a little bit of recency bias. He definitely took a step back this year as far as productivity and his, I guess, effectiveness, but he was still really, really good. But the thing that you can't discount with the signing of Zadarius is the effect he had on the locker room and or the culture, especially coming out of 2018 where things were so bad around Lambeau and the Packers in general. And he and Preston coming in absolutely changed the tenor and tone of the locker room and basically the franchise. And you're not paying for that. Obviously, you're paying for production. You're paying for what he does on the field, but you almost can't quantify it, how important it was and how it just changed everything. Now, obviously, Matt has a big part of that coming in, new program, etc. But yeah, it was an important signing. Top 5 all time. I don't know, but probably maybe a little less appreciated than it should be because it absolutely kind of reset not only the defensive side of the football, but the 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 team itself in a big way, and that's a testament to Brian and to Z, obviously. Preston had a rough year. What gives? He most certainly did. Now, don't think his year was as rough as most Packers fans would like to believe or do believe. But his productivity certainly fell off. You do wonder how much of that is Mike Pettin and the scheme slash system that has him walking out to cover tight ends one on one. But yeah, there's no doubt his productivity early on that first year was so good. And then it kind of fell off last kind of second half of last season. He basically picked up where he left off, meaning not as crazy productive as it was early on. I do think he's in line for a restructure, and if he's not amiable to that, there's a good chance he gets cut. But there's a long way to go this offseason. Mm. Soho or Chinatown? What a question. They both have their charms. Probably Chinatown for me. Better food. What? Should they keep Amos? I read an article that they should let him go. Jason, I want you to go to whatever website that you found that article on. Put it on your block list because you never need to read anything from them ever again. Amos was one of the better defensive players, not only on the Packers, but one of the most valuable safeties in the league this year. Yeah, you can safely ignore anything that person ever writes ever again. Who will last longer in New York, Salah or Judge? That's a good question. Remains to be seen who Salah has playing quarterback for him. Judge is stuck with Daniel Jones at least for a year or two, so who knows? That might get him booted in and of itself. But I think probably Salah, but we'll see. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. Can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers. I know, I get it. Nobody wants to watch the Super Bowl. I'll be watching the Super Bowl. Probably won't be doing a live stream or anything, but we will be having an official review of the halftime show done by my oldest daughter, Madeline Nagler, making her Cheesehead TV debut. So be sure to be on the lookout for that Sunday night. In the meantime, please just hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, tell your family, Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great weekend. Talk to you Monday morning. Go Pack Go.